Welcome back. I'm George Regan. You're listening to Regan on the Record on the business station WBIX AM 1060. Well, Bree, this is like a little mini green show here today. We're talking about good things. And one of the good things to talk about is the Woods Hole Group. It's an international environmental, scientific, and engineering consulting firm headquartered right in Falmouth, one of my favorite areas. And our guest is Bob Hamilton. He's a civil coastal engineer and is the vice president for business development for the Woods Hole Group. Bob, thanks for joining us today.
Sure, thanks. Good to talk to you, George.
Thank you. I hear you got some good news down there. I hear you and Congressman Delahunt and some other, Senator Kerry and Senator Kennedy have pulled off kind of a significant contract.
Yes, we at the Woods Hole Group, we're fortunate to have recently been awarded a contract from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers New England District.
Well, can you tell our audience a little bit about the contract? It's $15 million, but I'm told it's very significant.
That's right. It is a significant contract. What it is, it extends up to 5 years and may involve work totaling $15 million. And what it is it's primarily environmental planning services to support the Corps of Engineers.
Right.
The Corps of Engineers supports a very broad range of public works projects, whether it's environmental cleanup, restoration, dredging, shoreline protection. They have a pretty broad mission that a lot of people don't realize. And this contract will give us a nice chance to work for them as a great customer and to positively influence our public interest and environment.
Let me ask you, are we making progress in cleaning up the waterways? I know up in Boston, you now can actually, swim in Boston Harbor and not die. You could have a lobster at Boston Harbor and, not get sick. What about down the Cape? Are we making progress down there?
We're definitely making progress in cleaning up our waterways. Over the years, there are a lot of things that were done that at the times people didn't even know it had an adverse environmental impact. But a lot of progress is being made these days through restoration of wetlands, through removal of contaminated sediments. One of the major efforts on the Cape is to try to clean up water quality in the estuaries, and we're definitely making progress, but there's a lot yet to be done.
How much more are we miles and miles away?
I guess that depends on the perspective. In some perspectives, it might be that we're miles away because it's going to take years to undo some of the damage that was done, over, in some cases, centuries.
Mm-hmm. I know you guys also offer you a lot of work for gas and oil refiners. How does the work you do help them operate in a safe manner so that we have the kind of oil spills we had in the past, I guess?
Yes, we at the Woods Hole Group, we do a fair amount of work for offshore oil and gas industry. Mostly what we do is we try to characterize the environment they work in. So if they want to drill in the Gulf of Mexico or if they want to explore for oil off the coast of Brazil, we provide technologies, people, and measurement equipment to go out and characterize the environment. We allow them to build structures that will meet the rigors of the environment. And then we also provide information while they're working so that they can make safe decisions on the fly. So that way they're more educated about what's going on in that deep ocean below them.
I think about years ago when the Valdez went down with all the oil being spilled, you don't hear many of those disasters any longer. Is that because of the work you guys are doing across the country?
Well, I think it's in part because of a not only national but worldwide effort to be more careful. I think one specific example is some work that NOAA does. That is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They have instruments in ports and harbors around the country that provide information in real time every 6 minutes about the environment. So that way, operators of ships can navigate more safely. And in the event that there is a spill, the information exists to try to respond in a more educated fashion.
You think people? Why do you think the public is so onto green right now? You think they understand the damage that companies and just people like myself? I mean, I thrown a Coke can off the boat kind of stupid years ago, but when you add the amount of damage that myself and other people have caused over the years, it's almost astronomical. But right now, my sense is that people really do seem to care.
I think people do care, and I think what's important is to find the appropriate balance in these things. I mean, we live in this world, and people are entitled to certain rights, and they like to enjoy the environment. And I think what we need to do is we need to sort of eliminate the us versus them campaign that sometimes exists, where people think that industry and progress can't exist in concert with the environment. And a company like the Woods Hole Group, we work for companies that want to get things done. They want to build pipelines. They do drill for oil. They do dredge harbors. And what we do is we try to make these things happen in a way that is both efficient for business, but also sensitive to the environmental needs.
You're definitely right on a fine line. What about the fishing? You know, you listen on both sides that people say it's getting better, and fishermen saying it's getting much worse. What's your take on it?
Well, honestly, I don't consider myself to be a fisheries expert. I do think that fishery stocks.
Well, I'm talking about environmentally. I mean,
yep.
You know, you listen to they're saying that great causes have been, great problems have been caused to a lot of the fishing beds out there. Do you see that or not?
To be honest with you, I don't have a huge exposure to fishing interests other than the projects that we do. We try to implement them in a way so it doesn't take place in a sensitive fishing area.
Okay. All right, so Woods Hole Group, what else are you going to be doing? We have 30 seconds before I get the hook off the show. What are things we're doing over the next year or so?
Well, in the next year or so, we're fortunate to have a diversified clientele. I mean, we're in uncertain economic times. Some of our traditional business for state and local governments may be on a decline, but the fact that we're doing a lot more work with the federal government just to help support maintenance of waterways, help support restoration of salt marshes. We're doing a lot with shore protection work and protecting the coast. And that, along with our work with the oil and gas industry and some alternative energy, is going to keep us moving upward and onward.
Sounds good. Bob Hamilton from the Woods Hole Group. Bob, thank you very much for joining us today. It's very encouraging, and I love the ocean off Cape Cod, so thanks for all the good things you do.
Well, thanks for your time.